His first presentation this morning will discuss the role that Python can play to extend GRASS, as well as to describe current experiments with Python and GRASS integration.
Okay. Thank you, Frank. Thank you all for being here so early in the morning after the party of yesterday. So, this is my presentation about Python. And we have news that in 2006, a Python started to sweep into the GRASS. But as we are computer scientists, geologists, biologists, we are inside in scientific stuff somehow. We have to verify if it effectively did it, how it did it, what it did, and what it is going to do. So what is Python? Python is, quoting from the Python website, it is an interpreted, interactive, object-oriented programming language. Many people used to compare it with TCL, Perl, Scheme, or Java, for example. And it was created in the 90s by Guido von Rossum as a successor of ABC. It was a language for didactic purposes, for learning, for teaching how to program. And Python came over because of its design guidelines. Guido von Rossum described Python as the language that can be used to bridge the gap between the shell and the sea. So why using Python? Just because there are problems we have to solve that are, at the same time, too complex to be solved by a simple shell script, but they are not worth of being a new C program. In this case, we can use Python for approaching that problem. So, starting for its design guidelines, Python is not the language that can solve all your problems. It is just something that stands in the middle between power of C, being quick, being high performance, and the shell that is going to be the interface we use almost every day. So what is GRASS GIS? All of us will almost know something about that, about it. It is the Geographic Resources Analysis Support System. It is a software project developed first in the 80s. And from 1997, it is free software under the GPL license. And most important for this topic I'm discussing this morning, it is written in C and has shell script capabilities. So Python design philosophy fits extremely well into the GRASS GIS environment. How can GRASS GIS and Python interact? There have been basically two approaches to interface GRASS GIS and Python. The first approach is the simpler one, if we want to say, and it simply access the operative system stack through the OS module. The OS module is, for those who knows Python, it is a module that interfaces with the OS, with the operative system. It is a kind of independent module that provides to send command to the operative system. So with the OS system, we can send command to the command line of GRASS environment and use Python inside GRASS. The other approach is by using the SWIG, that stands for Simplified Wrapper and Interface Generator, that is basically an interface compiler and that generates functions for the scripting language directly from the C or C++. So we are able to use C function from Python. In short time, we had several chances to get used with Python in GRASS. In almost a year and a half, we have several examples of using Python in GRASS. And so let's see what has been done. Let's see a little review. The first example I will show is the Python SWIG Rapid GRASS C API. This is at the moment in the CVS of GRASS. You can use it, and basically it allows to call and use GRASS library function from GRASS. So once we have imported the module Python_GRASS that stands into the CVS, we can compile it. We can use the C functions in the GRASS library directly from Python. So this is a very simple example where we assign the map set, the string map set, calling G_map set. That is actually it is a Python function, but it comes from the C library, and then we print it out. It was contributed by Site VK, an Indian guy, and now it is available, as I said, into the CVS of GRASS. So the Python SWIG library allows to use C function in Python. Another nice example is the R.shaded relief, is the Python interface to GRASS modules, that is the GRASS GUI, and it is basically XML parser. So in this example, we see that we pipe out the XML of interface description into the GRASS GUI.py module script, and we got this interface, this graphical user interface. Basically, every GRASS command can output XML, and we pipe into this simple script. It is nice for making graphical user interfaces. Another example of using Python graphical user interfaces for GRASS, it is the GIS manager based on WX Windows, contributed by Michael Barton. We can see the spearfish DEM into this GIS manager, completely written in Python using the WX Windows graphical user interface libraries. Let's go on with an example of GTK interface to the digitizer of GRASS. It was contributed by Joachim, we have here with us. And it is written basically using GTK libraries from Python, using Python OS to interface with GRASS. Okay, so all these examples are working, and we can use Python there in GRASS. But we can make a step beyond, because although various Python applications are up and running inside GRASS, we can use the full power of Python through a generic interface to GRASS. First, using Python_GRASS 6 SWIG API through a more high level, not just calling the C library function. Through the creation of session, maps, device, classes. Through a creation of a Python package that serves to ordering things in namespace using the dotted syntax. These are things for people that already knows Python, but basically is to group all the efforts together and order into namespace. Use of these utils that are distribute with the standard Python distribution that make it easy to distribute the code written with Python. And then the creation of documentation. Python on one side is very, very good for making quick hacks, for producing in a short time stuff. But documentation needs the same time it needs in C. So creation of documentation was vital for the project for a step beyond. So we need a user manual and PyDoc function and class documentation about the code. So we put it all together, and let me introduce you the PyGrass package. That is the logo for those who didn't understand that. Python is making a G and is on a grass. Okay, so this is the package I want to present today. It is not in the abstract just because it was made on the last month. And so PyGrass 0.1 requirements are Python version more or equal 2.3, the Python underscore GRASS 6 that comes with the GRASS 6 sources, and NumPy. What is NumPy? NumPy is a big package, or it is a collection of functions for numerical calculation with Python. It is very famous between computer scientists, between physicists, or people that used to do number crunching with Python. PyGrass features are a real user manual, interactive or scripting usage, no need to be inside an interactive Grass session, multi-session support, that is interesting to have a different session inside the same script. And then raster data is mapped into NumPy. So we got raster values into metrics that are suitable for numerical calculation. So let's see, documentation. Documentation is important as the package itself. That was the first thing I was to make it clear. And so I just decided to write the documentation in REST that can produce docs in HTML, PDF, XML, and so on. And the user manual has got some examples and has got to grow with time. PyDoc documentation is used inside the code to document the code itself. Just PyDoc, PyGrass, and enjoy. These are the namespaces. The main namespaces are the session, maps, utils, and then we got a group of graphical user interface namespaces: Qt, TK, WX, GTK, XWin, and then a web namespace. These are empty for now, but these are places where, for example, widget can be put into. So with time, I hope, if it works, these places will be fulfilled with widget, with something people can assemble together into graphical user interface. The most important namespace is the session and the maps, where GRASS session and maps are managed for working. Okay, thank you, Frank. Okay, let's see. Session management. We can use PyGrass to manage several GRASS sessions in the same script. Let's see the code. We import stuff. This is a technical stuff about Python. We just define DB and user. And then we create two objects. The object Spearfish, it is instantiated from a session GRASS, a GRASS session from the GRASS DB, and the Spearfish 60 location and the user. Fire is another object that it is instantiated from the session class, and same as above. So we have two sessions in the same GRASS script. So we do not need to be inside a running GRASS session, and we create as much session object as we need. Refer to example multi-session PY that will be distributed together with the package. Okay, import NumPy, import PyTlab, import Word. Once we have a good frame to work with, we can import also other packages. And this is an example where I create my DEM object. I get a matrix from it, and then I import Pylab, that basically is MATLAB syntax, or Octave better, syntax, into Python. And then I just call emShow, that is the command to show images, and then I show it. If all work it, we should get the most famous county in the world, Spearfish. This is the GRASS monitor, and this is the matplotlib interface to that. Actually, the coordinates are not correct because I didn't have time to correct with the coordinate location. But anyway, this is just the output of the previous slide. So we have something, few lines for do it. Okay. So conclusions. Conclusions are that a Python really sweeps in the grass. Thank you. Questions?
I would like to know. Sorry, I would like to know if there is interface. How do you deal interface for other function of GRASS within PyGrass? Let's say, do you have? Do you call other Python GRASS 6 C function, or how do you deal with other function in PyGrass?
Okay, thank you. At the moment, I import the Python _ GRASS 6 Swiged library, and I use almost 20-30 functions from it. And I'm just in the testing phase. For example, I wrote an histogram generating code that is the translation of the equivalent C module, just to see if it works. And then it gives back the histogram as an array. The answer is that no, I do not use all the C functions, and also I'm not going to use all that functions, because that is the idea. Just use what we have to import into PyGrass package to have classes, objects, and so on, to be able to work quickly. So it is important to maintain in future Python_GRASS6. That is important and vital for PyGrass that stands over there. Thank you.
Okay, we have time for another question if anyone has one. I have a question.
Okay, in front.
I assume there's interfaces to the regular GRASS commands available from here as well, or how would you invoke a regular GRASS command?
Sorry, Frank, I didn't understand.
Oh, sorry. How would you invoke a regular GRASS command with this? Is there an interface to that, a command class or something like that?
The commands
like,
from
say,
GRASS.
r.in.goodle.
Oh yeah,
like
through the OS module.
Through the UI?
Yeah. Basically, there is not yet then, but it is very simple to create a module through the OS module that is distributed with Python.
Okay. Good. Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much, Alessandro.
Thank you.